Ай, сука. Ай. Ах ты.
Простые ответы, риторичные вопросы. Наши колкие встречи уже стали несносны. А ты боишься, очевидно, ведешь игру. А я опять иду на поводу. Сильно привыкла, это не оправдание. По любви я виновен, но ни капли не тянет. И твои слезы водопадом не дают понять. Это спектакль.
hemisphere is east. At least it turns circle with western values. It's an idea of the Russian pasture is equal to this world. So that basically the so-called substandard.
Well, Glenn, it used to be the case of the past years, Ukraine propaganda, NATO summit, meetings. What about this year?
Well, it's Ukraine obviously has more policy this year because a lot of things have changed compared to, well, even last year. That is, no one is really seriously suggesting that Ukraine is winning anymore. For a long time, this was the argument, even though it was not the case. But you can't really hide the losses anymore. That is, Ukraine suffering from a shortage of men, also a shortage of weapons, and we can also see a shortage of external political support, given that Trump is not that interested anymore in the Ukraine war. He would like to bring it to an end, and this fits into the wider efforts by the United States to shift its priorities away from Europe and towards Asia, but also more in the Middle East, I think, above Europe. So more diplomacy has begun. It took more than 3 years to sit down and begin to talk to the Russians. So there's a lot of things that appears to be at least moving along. So there's much less consensus now in NATO, and any discussion of Ukraine could merely make it more evident that there's not consensus anymore. And obviously this efforts by the Europeans would like to replace the United States, that is to be able to supply what America is no longer supplying. But a lot of this is very much divorced from reality. So Ukraine will still have a spot there, but it's not going to be the summer focus as we saw in the previous years.
Well, let's take a short break, and we'll be back right after this.
Ideas matter. Ideas matter. This is dialogue.
Welcome back. China will hold a military. War of resistance against the Japanese aggression and the world anti-fascist war. History must not be forgotten, but we remember, and what lessons must we learn? More importantly, what must we do today to ensure such tragedies are never repeated? Let's continue our discussion with our guest speakers. So, Victor, we know that in September the 3rd, actually, a key part of the commemoration of the Victory Parade in Beijing. In addition to the latest generation of conventional weapons, the parade will display unmanned intelligence systems, underwater combat units, cyber and electronic forces, and hypersonic weapons. So, what is the message of the military parade?
Thank you. I think, according to the publicly available information, the parade on September the 3rd in Beijing will probably be the largest and one of the most important military parades in its history. China will showcase some of its best military hardware, including drones of all kinds and other very sophisticated weaponry, in order to promote peace, in order to prevent any outbreak of war against China or outbreak of war in other parts of the world. And I think the fact that many other global leaders will gather in Beijing to celebrate this victory will be very meaningful. Now, for China, as far as China is concerned, the war of resistance against Japanese aggression was not for 4 years. It was for a long period of 14 years, ever since 1931, when Japan invaded parts of China and gradually occupied up to about half of the landmass and half of all the Chinese coastlands. I think for the Chinese civilization, the Japanese aggression of China between 1931 to 1945, when Japan unconditionally surrendered, was truly one of the most important challenges that the Chinese civilization faced. And by getting united against such foreign aggression, Chinese nation demonstrated once again to its own